Also, on the Stargate universe front, our mutual acquaintance Jay loves Stargate universe, so I think I've got the upper hand on that one.
Our mutual acquaintance?
Yeah, I don't want to call him out via video here.
Oh.
You know, Jay, the one we always complain about.
Oh, Jeremy. Well, why didn't you just say that?
I just didn't want to name names, man.
Okay.
You know, some people might get real touchy. You call them out for liking Stargate Universe, and
look, Stargate Universe is a good series. It was well produced. The special effects were the best that they had ever done, and it was a good idea. And it had the best actors in the entire series. There is no better actor than Robert Carlyle. Come on, Robert Carlyle is so good.
Yeah, but you can't sit there and be like, "Whoa, this is one dude saves the whole show."
No,
and like
no,
the rest of the
there were
characters
problems
are like cliche and boring.
There were problems with it, but I loved the heck out of it. I enjoyed every single moment. Six Pounder loves it. What, you don't like Six Pounder? What, you think Six Pounder's a douche? I'm texting Six Pounder right now. Look,
good.
Garak hates you.
Garak thinks Stargate Universe is dumb, and you're dumb for liking it. Love Garak.
That's, you know what? We need to remember this when Reaper comes out, and we need to have this conversation when we're playing through on hardcore.
We're having Reaper conversations with Six Pounder. Oh,
because
man,
you know
can't
that
wait for Reaper.
Dude, I know, right? See, the problem is, if we gotta really explain this out, and by really I mean not at all, because it's pretty self-explanatory. I got into the beta for whatever God knows reason. I have no idea, but I got in, and you haven't. And then they just put the PTS up, right? Which has a lot of the changes.
It is pointless.
It has you can't access any of the new content, which means you can't access adventure mode or anything like that. So there's literally no reason to be on there unless you have beta.
It is the dumbest thing for a PTS I've ever heard. So essentially, what's happening here? If you don't follow Diablo or anything at all, which you should, because despite all the crappy things that happened, it's still way better than most of the other action RPGs that exist. But so what's happened is Zen is in the closed beta for Reaper, like you said, and I am not, and I really want to be. But the closest thing I have is the PTS, and in the PTS they advertise it as like a little feature. They're like, "Hey, if any of your friends are in the Reaper of Souls beta, you can play with them and experience Loot 2.0." And so basically, what Loot 2.0 is Blizzard revamping the loot system from Diablo to have like more specific roles to like the classes that you're using right now, so you don't like roll a two-handed barbarian hammer with like 300 intellect on it, which is annoying and a waste of a legendary. So they're changing that, but that is the only thing that you can do on the PTS if you're not in the Reaper of Souls beta. So basically, if I want to play with Zen, I can only play the stuff that I've been playing, except with better loot now. So like I can't go and experience adventure mode, and I can't try like any of the new difficulties, and I can't play the Crusader, and I can't try the new chapters. So it's like, why would you have me download this like 16 gig install so I can have theoretical better loot for a hypothetical character?
Well, the funny part of that is there's no reason for me to go back and play any of that content at all. So why would I? So even if I would want to come and play with you, I still wouldn't, because I don't want to play that content anymore. I have the new stuff to play, so it's like it is pointless. You're right.
I'm like, why am I even, here? It's like, I thought I would be able to sneak into like adventure mode and stuff and try that out, but they're like, nope, adventure mode illegal, and we can't play it if it's like your game, and we can't play it if it's my game.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of like, why are we here? Why are we doing this? And then we play Starbound, and record the funniest episodes ever recorded in Starbound. I mean, to this day.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real shame that they missed out on that episode. I mean, I literally went to the hospital because of how funny it was, and they missed out on it. It's bad.
What did they end up putting on the medical form, the ER form? It's like hysteria-induced tearing or something.
Yes, that's exactly what they put on it. And the funny thing is I had to wear those stupid wristbands that you get, from the hospital.
From the ER.
But they knew why I was there, and they thought it was funny because I told them some of the jokes, right? So one of the other guys almost had the same thing happen to him. He was my doctor. He almost had the same thing happen to him, and it was bad.
Did you tell him the one about the giraffe and the dog?
Dude, that's the one I told them. It was great. And he died, man. He almost had the same problem, and I knew, I saw it on his face. I saw it on him, and I knew what was happening because I had just been through that, right? So I had to tell him. I was like, whoa, calm down.
Calm down.
Yeah, because look, I've been there. I've done that.
Oh, that's good. Once when I was younger, I had like an uncontrollable laughing fit. It was like the weirdest thing, and I think it might have been like a combination of like sleep deprivation and just like a really funny thing. Because I remember I was hanging out with a couple of my buddies. They were sleeping over at my house, and it was just like, I think it was like 3 a.m. or something, and like they just had told a joke or said something like really funny. And I started laughing, and then I just couldn't stop, and I was like trying to like talk to them like while I was laughing. I was like, I can't stop.
I've had one of this happen, especially when you were like super tired, and you just something stupid happened and you couldn't stop laughing. I actually have a really good example of that. Did you ever see the movie Evolution?
Yes, love that movie.
That movie was funny. It was so funny. The part at the end, when they've got the fire truck and they're going up to this goes back to our spoiler thing. Yeah, this goes back to our spoiler thing. If this is not a spoiler anymore, because that movie's been out for like 8 years.
Yeah, like it didn't come out in like 2003 or something.
Yeah. So basically, they have this fire truck, and it's loaded with Head and Shoulders because they found out that's what kills these alien things. Yeah. And they're going up to this. They're going up to this giant like alien, and it has an anus.
Like Sarlacc.
And
it's like a Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, they're gonna shoot it up its anus, and it farts on them, and it's the funniest thing because they did like the perfect, like the wind is blowing through their hair, they're like being blown over by it because it's huge. It's cracked me up. When I saw that for the first time, I almost made it to the hospital again. It was almost as good as our jokes that we told the other night. It was funny. If people haven't seen that movie, they really have to watch it.
Yeah, that movie was really good.
The things in his leg.
Didn't it have like David Duchovny or somebody in it? Who was in that movie?
Yeah. It had the dude from X-Files.
Yeah, it's David Duchovny.
Yeah. And then
Speaking of which, did you know Colonel Caldwell, the guy who plays Colonel Caldwell, is the deputy director in the X-Files of the FBI?
I did know that. Yeah, I did know that.
And there is an episode where, and I know I've been sending you like text messages every time I see one, but there's a lot of like famous people who show up in the X-Files episodes that like are not, it's like weren't famous then when the X-Files were out, and people like Jack Black and stuff. But there's this one episode where Colonel Carter, the lady who plays Colonel Carter in Stargate, seduces Colonel Caldwell.
Amanda Tapping.
Yeah, Amanda Tapping. Thank you. She plays a call girl who is in a hotel bar, and seduces Mitch Pileggi, the guy who plays Colonel Caldwell in Stargate. And I'm like, whoa,
that's
Sam,
weird.
You nailing it out there, huh?
Wow. Just going for it.
I know.
Dude, it's funny. Too. I went down in those mines, and I found a ton of gold, but I literally don't think I found any copper.
It's okay, I got a bunch of copper.
I have 35 iron, though.
Iron bars.
Also,
or
the
iron ore?
elevator's complete. Bars.
Because I've got 42 bars.
Yeah, we have so much iron. Yeah, okay, so back to the actor conversation there. You know what's funny is I was watching a recent episode of Grimm, and anybody who keeps up with Grimm, or doesn't for that matter, it's a good show, you probably should, but so I was watching it, and it was a recent episode where there's basically water nymphs, right? They're kind of like mermaid things. And in that episode, a kid gets basically pulled underwater, and he manages to survive this entire thing because one of the nymphs is like, she's kind of sympathetic. Well, she's sympathetic and she saves them.
Sorry, I know.
They're trying to kill him.
Totally different direction.
No, they all are. Let's be honest, but
they're evil.
They're evil, and they basically try to seduce these dudes to kill them and pull them underwater and all that fun stuff. And the kid that lives, he was really familiar to me, and I was like, man, it's his mannerisms, you know, it's the way he like moves his hands when he talks in his head. I'm like, I can't put a finger on it. And the guy had, you know, like kind of blondish hair, and I'm going, gosh, who is this kid? Turns out, you remember that Stargate episode where Jack is turned into a kid because of the Asgards? Like one of the, like, it's like Loki messing around with like cloning, and Jack is then a kid. You remember that one?
I remember when Loki is messing around with cloning, but I can't remember what Jack looked like when he was a kid.
But you remember that he was a kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kid. And I had to IMDb it. I couldn't figure it out. It's like I know I've seen this kid in something else, but I just don't remember what it was. And it happened to be him. And I was like, oh my gosh. Which is funny because that makes up like the 9th or 10th Stargate actor that I've seen in stuff recently, including like Janet Frazier from SG-1 was in an episode, or actually in several episodes of Arrow, playing a main character now. It's kind of funny.
I don't know if I told you about this one, but Janet Frazier, the lady who played Janet Frazier, showed up in the X-Files episode. She got raped by a ghost.
Yeah, you told me that. It's not funny that she got raped by a ghost, but it's funny that she got raped by a ghost.
It's funny because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like a ghost. You're like, how does that even happen?
That's funny. Speaking of raping, I know that's like one of the most offensive segues I could ever use. But
like, what do you segue into after saying that is my question.
Speaking of raping, so I had a weird week last week. I was basically really bored.
So I called this number on a bathroom stall, and I met this guy named Larry.
No, so I was really bored, and I got into reading a lot of the Walking Dead comics again, because I had started reading those like a while back, and I stopped, right, because I got busy. But they've just been sitting on my iPad, so I got really bored like a week ago and just started reading through them again. And I caught back up to kind of where the show's at, and I'm not going to spoil the show or anything about where the show's at right now, but I will spoil a year from now, or a year ago, rather. So they, the stuff when they get to the prison, right?
Yeah.
It is so different in the comic, and it blows my mind. It's really good in the comic, but like in the comic, for example, Rick ends up losing his hand. He gets it cut off by the governor. Yeah. So you got like that kind of thing, and oh gosh, what's her nut? The chick that in the show Daryl was into. What's her name?
It's not Beth. Beth is a girl.
Yeah. Beth is, it's the older chick, the one that with that.
I know.
That had the daughter.
I know. You know her name. I want to say like Jody.
Carol?
Is it
right.
Carol? Carol, that's it.
Jody. She is nuts.
Too much beyond
Jody.
two souls.
Yeah, clearly. Wow, that's a discussion for another time. So, yeah, she is nuts. She is nuts in the comic. Like, absolutely nuts. and she is kind of nuts in the show, but it's like night and day difference.
It would be cool if she was more crazy in the show.
No, it wouldn't be, 'cause she's pretty crazy.